Speaking of dying, an indie movie with Frank Grillo and Carrie Ann Moss called Die Alone is out on video on demand. This is it's a low budget indie movie that is very unique. It's a zombie film, zombie apocalypse movie, and it's very unique. And I'm gonna dance around the story because in the third act there are some major reveals, which, by the way, I figured out what was going on in the first act. I'm like, oh, I'll bet this is this, and I was right. And that's not always the case. That's not. I'm not going to say I'm good at guessing it, but it's a post-apocalyptic world. A man is roaming the wasteland and runs into a young man, runs into an older woman played by Carrie Ann Moss, who takes him in and trusts him in this world where no one can be trusted. There are zombies, there are ravagers, and she takes this young man in and does her best to kind of nurse him back to health and protect him. And he is suffering from amnesia. So he's lost his girlfriend and cannot find her. So it's a weird mix of a romance in a way, because we see flashbacks of this young man with his girlfriend, right? And his memories of her. Ethan's trying to remember, my girlfriend, we got separated. Where is she? Why can't I remember this? Douglas Smith plays the girlfriend. His name is Ethan. And then Carrie Ann Moss plays a woman named May. And he's trying to put the pieces of his life together in the midst of a zombie apocalyptic wasteland. He runs into, they run into Frank Grillo and his family. And there's a memory of that. And all I can say is I love Frank Grillo. I like him as a character actor. He's great. He's really great. So, and he is really good in this. But you see how he protects his family, what people are driven to. I happen to love zombie films, zombie stories, because it really is about morality, testing morality. And what would you do in this situation? Could you kill a zombie? Could you kill a zombie that was formerly, as a human, a loved one of your loved one? Could you do that? Will you protect someone and put your own life at risk, or leave them in the dust to save yourself? So I've always loved zombie movies. And I think Gary Beekler is the one that convinced me to see this. He described it as a zombie movie by way of The Notebook, which is actually kind of accurate, because there is a romantic angle. Ethan is trying to remember where did we get separated? He's trying to put the pieces together and find his girlfriend. And there's evidence out there that she is still around. So, but Carrie Ann Moss is this mysterious figure that takes him in. So I don't want to go into much more detail than that. But first of all, I loved seeing Carrie Ann Moss in, we were really deprived of seeing her in The Acolyte actually do anything when she's off in the first episode, which I thought was lame. So seeing her actually be able to be a badass, and she is the lead, she is one of the leads with Ethan, was great. So it's good to see Carrie Ann Moss in some decent project instead of Matrix 4 and Acolyte, where she was just, not her fault. Those were both horrible projects. And Frank Grillo to boot. So, and I don't know, Douglas Smith, who played Ethan, is familiar, but I don't know. I can't remember a specific thing he was in. So I really like Die Alone. It's a solid, different take on a zombie story that takes itself seriously with a good mystery and oddly a romance. So recommend Die Alone, now on VOD. available. I don't know if it's on any other streaming service, but I actually bought it on VOD on Gary's recommendation, and that is my review.
Right.
So there you go. Let's go to some comments.
Oh, I'll just say Douglas Smith was in Horizon.
Horizon. Oh, okay. There you go. I knew he was like familiar. So I'd seen him before. That's great. But yeah, I recommend it. I recommend it if you want a good, solid zombie movie. And you know what? 90 minutes. 2.5 hours, 90 minutes. And
unlike a movie we saw last night. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always liked Carrie-Anne Moss. Finally, she's in something that's decent and watchable.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, Daredevil, come on, she was great there.
Well, I like Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, I like her.
You say she's done good work since then. She's done bad work since then, but
not enough in my opinion.
Absolutely.
She's an older, attractive woman. I like her. So recommendation for Dialogue.